Gosh, I'm gonna look back on this. Hate it. I'll take my shoes off for today. I'm live. On God, welcome. Welcome to the creative genius that is me and my pal Gary. Give it up. Gary, that's where you jump in and say, yo, yo, yo.
Oh, I didn't think you wanted me to do anything.
What? We've had this conversation before. You're meant to be my hype man during this. This is meant to be a collective experience. Can't just be one cognitive genius. I need someone else to bounce these ideas off. It's kind of like, particle, transmission that they have to bounce. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome. Just some things before we start. Sometimes the classes can vary quite a bit, but I want to make sure you encourage everyone to still remember a lot of the drills that we do in the classes that overlap for a lot of bits of strength. So please try and keep up your hanging, your squat, your wrist drills, and any shoulder or hip or knee mobility drills that you know are working for you. Sometimes the stream can come up a little bit late, sometimes it can be a little bit delayed, but we certainly can be a little bit proactive. So I'm just encouraging you to think about those kind of things. So we're going to do a warm-up and start with that. We're going to start with 4 exercises in our warm-up. So we've done a couple of these before, starting with arm swings, touching our pinkies to the front of the body. Hey, Sean, good morning. And then we're going to go arms up overhead. I try to keep my shoulders in front of my body. I don't want to arch my back here to compensate reaching overhead. I want to push and drive my shoulders forward. So touching at the bottom. Good. We'll do this about 20 times for these. I like to call them Vitruvians. Hello, Leah. Good morning. Just nice big swings. Elevating my shoulders at the top, bringing them forward and down at the bottom. So what I'm trying to avoid is kind of bananaing or dolphining at the back. I want to keep my shoulders in front of my body. Good. 10 more. 9, 8, 7, 6. Look at him, like waving. Hello. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. We should just have a GIF of this and we can put up on the Twitch thing when someone subscribes. It's like, yay. Surely we should get some emoticons. All right, next one. We're going to do the Mexican wave. So we have a slight bend in our knees, draw our hands back, big opening up of the arms, and then swing them down. Do this about 20 times. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. We're going to turn this one into hugs. Same slight bend in the knees. Hands are going to wrap across our body, open up for a big fly, push our chest through, and then our hands wrap around in the opposite direction. Do this about 20 times. Using a lot of momentum and swinging, just gradually waking the shoulders and arms and your upper body up rather than sort of any aggressive movements. They'll come. This could definitely be another little emoji GIF. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. Shoulders up. Now, back to our basics. Air squats, 20 in your own time, all the way down to the floor, all the way up. If you're feeling very sore and stiff, more than welcome to use a desk or something to help you get a little bit lower in that, working to try and get depth over rep range. So I don't really care if people can squat like this very quickly. I'm looking for you to try and get as low as possible and really warm up the body. Trying to find a good place for this microphone. 20 of the air squats, please. So 10, 9, and if I'm using something like a chair or a desk to keep myself upright, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cool. We've got Russian squats now. Russian squats where we anchor our hands to our feet or our ankle or our shin, but we try to go as low as possible and then keeping our anchoring point connected straight in the back of our legs. And we're going to do this 20 times, just like the air squats. 2. And really try and drive your legs back. Pull your chest down rather than hinging over. You don't have to worry about being super low, just as long as you're getting that tightness. So if even if I'm holding onto my shins, as long as I'm pulling my tummy down, see that my back is nice and straight here, it's going to tighten all the muscles and give them a bit of attention. Ooh. Cat. Hey, you cat. Good. Hopefully you've done about 20 of those. We'll come back around for a second round. Cool. So I'm going to set up the band against my anchor point. I've just got a chair here. Hopefully you've got a table or a desk that's fairly sturdy and not going to move away if you pull it. So just putting the band around it, looping it through the inside. Cool. And I have the band hanging out at an anchor point here. What I'm going to do is put the back of this band around the eye of my knee, like this. Okay, and now the band is pulling my leg forward. I'm going to step back so there's a bit of tension. Doesn't have to be a great amount of tension, but there's enough so my foot has to resist. I'm going to try and put my hands on the ground like I'm starting a running race. And this is going to be very awkward, so pay attention to the details. I'm going to straighten one leg. This leg is straight, this leg is bent, and then I'm going to swap. This leg is straight, this leg is bent. Now I'm going to swap. And this band is trying to pull my leg into the bent position, and I'm going to keep it straight here, and you feel the tension pulling through. And it's almost like you're starting a running race. You're on the ground, feet in feet position ready to go, and you're just using the band to stretch all the back of your leg. I call these a runner's start. I'm going to do 10 of these and hold on the last rep, and we're going to do each side. So one leg is bent, one leg is straight, one leg is bent. Switch. The opposite leg is now straight and the band is pulling on it while it straightens. And then we swap and release. 3, 2, 1. Good. Carefully coming up out of the band. Should feel a lot of tension in the back leg. We're going to swap to the other side. Just going to maneuver myself. It's around the eye of your kneecap. I know I'm wearing pants. Hopefully you're able to imagine where my kneecap is. Hands on the ground like I'm starting a running race. My front leg is bent. My back leg is straight as best as possible. And then I switch. Straightening this front leg here. And the back leg can bend. So I get that straightening. Do this 10 times. 4, 5, 6, 8. G'day, Matt. 7, 8, 9, big squeeze, 10, cool. We're going to take the band off our anchor point, okay? Holding the band over the loops on either side, put it behind our back, big stretch, push forward. We're going to do flies here. G'day, mate. Pushing our shoulders forward about 15 to 20 times. So the second part of our arm and shoulder warm-up. Good. So allow the band to pull your shoulders back. Careful that the band doesn't roll up the back of your neck. It's quite uncomfortable, so keep the band low. Push your shoulders forward. Allow the band to come back. Big stretch, push forward. Big stretch, push forward. 15 to 20 times. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, we're going to turn the band over to the front. I'm going to pull my hands in a little bit closer, just a little bit. Don't overdo it. Hands in front of the body, and I'm going to pull the band to my chest, squeezing my shoulder blades. Keeping my hands as straight as possible. I don't want to bend to try and compensate pulling to my chest. So if it's too difficult, just move your hands out slightly. Keep them nice and straight. And pull your shoulder blades back so the band comes to your chest. We're going to do this about 10 to 20 times. 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 2, 1. Good. We're going to pop the band back around our anchor point. Going to go back to our air squats. 10 air squats followed by 10 Russian squats. Do them. 1. If you need to use something to help you get lower into that position, use that anchor point that we talked about, whatever that heavy object is, to allow you to get nice and low. Three, 2, 1. Good, we're going to go back to Russian squats. Another 10 of those. Anchoring onto either our feet, our ankles, our shins, doesn't matter. Down into that bottom position. Pulling my tummy forward, stretching the back of my legs. 10 reps of this. Do you have music for different coaches, Gary? I've noticed my music is like very chill hop, 24-hour live study beats.
Yeah, it's more of that lo-fi.
Lo-fi, yeah. If it's like a strength class, does the pace turn up a little bit?
No, it's usually this.
It's usually this as well. Oh, interesting. Cool.
Haven't yet,
No, that's all right.
done anything like that.
Cool, back to our runner's start. So, getting our band, anchoring around the table leg or chair leg. The band goes behind your kneecap, the eye of your knee. Okay, so it's pulling my leg forward, is resistance. I put my hands on the ground like I'm starting a running race. My front leg is bent, my back leg is straight, and I'm going to switch. Make it land a little bit tighter if I can. A little bit more challenge and resistance. On. Off. Do this 10 times. We're going to hold for the last rep for about 5 or 6 seconds. You can get your hands flat on the floor. Beautiful. 3, 2, let's hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Carefully coming up, walking forward, swapping to the other leg. Cool. Hands on the ground, front leg is bent. Okay, back leg is straight, and we're gonna switch, straightening that front leg. Back leg is bent to compensate. Your positions may look a little bit more rigid than mine. I do make things look a little bit too easy, so please be aware of that. Good, 10 reps of this. Probably hold on the last one for about 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cool. You can leave the band there for now. So, next group of exercises. Oh, sorry, we will be using the band. So just take this out. First exercise we're going to do is a lunge, but a sideways lunge on our knees. So if you need to put a towel down or a mat under one of your knees, that's fine. So my leg is going to be in line with my hip here, and I'm going to lunge out to the side like this and press all the way back up. If we're looking from the side here, leg is behind, hips and groin are in a straight line, lean out to the side, drive back. I'm going to do this 10 times on each side. You can really lean your pressure into this side as well so that you get a lot of stretch in the back of your leg, dorsiflexion. 9, 10, swapping over, opposite side, so I line up my knee and my heel and my foot across my body, and then I lunge to the side, loading up my knee here, putting a bit of weight and pressure off to the side while stretching my groin as well. Ten reps about here. If you ever do a few more reps, a few less because I move on, not a problem. You can always re-look at the stream if some exercises were really interesting to you. But yeah, it's just some of the challenges that we face with the live stream. All right, those were the kneeling lateral lunges. We're now going to go to a straddle pike pulse. So my legs are wide in a straddle position. I'm going to hinge at my hips here, fall down, and I'm going to pulse here for between about 30 to 40 times. If you want to grab your little weight that you have, you're more than welcome to help that pull you down a little bit. So folding at the hips here, hinging here, nice straight legs, and just breathing, exhaling pulses for about 30 to 40 reps. I like to really encourage people to breathe out. It also moves some of the air out of your diaphragm and belly and allows you to fold forward a little bit more, deeper into the stretch. Cool, so we've done lateral lunges. We've done our straddle pike fold. We're going to go to our I's, Y's, T's, and A's using a band. We did this last week. It's a very nice shoulder exercise. Wrap the band around one arm. I'm going to put my hand in the I position. Actually, this band's quite tight, so I don't need to wrap it around. So if you feel like your band's very tight, you don't need to wrap it around. We're going 10 pulses backwards and forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're then going to draw circles with the top of our thumb. One way, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 the opposite way. 8, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. Give your arm a little shake. We're now going into the Y position. So off and up to the side. Try and keep your shoulder in front of the body slightly. So here, 1, 2, 5, 6, 8, 10. Now we do circles. 8, 9, 10 circles the opposite way. 9, 10, good. These should be really starting to get challenging as you're getting towards the 10th rep. Now we're going for T's. 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10 circles. 3. Circles the opposite way. 9, 10, cool. And we've got our A position. You can hold on to something to brace it to make it a little bit easier, or you can just tuck your elbow in there. That's fine. Backwards and forwards 10 times. 10 circles one way. 4, 5, 6, 9, 10 circles the opposite way. Awesome. Onto the other side. So this band is pretty tight, so I don't need to wrap it around my hand. Whoops, opposite side. Starting with eyes, 10 pulses. 10 circles. 10 circles the opposite way. Good, onto our next position, Y. Out to the side. Good, circles one way, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, circles the opposite way. 10, good. Going out for T, so directly out to the side. Circles. Circles the opposite way. Good. Going down for A. Cool. 10 times. 2, 5, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 circles. Circles the opposite way. Cool. Back to the start. Kneeling lateral lunges. Cool. So, my leg lying behind, foot going out to the side, leaning over my leg, driving back with the leg that I'm lunging on. Ten times each side. Maybe your foot starts to peel up a little bit here. Try and push your heel down to get a bit of a stretch. Lean on top of your leg. Just about encouraging that dorsiflexion, not just always going up to a perch position there on my toes. Lean in, try and keep your foot flat. Good, 10 reps. Swap to the opposite side. Leg out to the side, nice leg behind. Drive off to the side. Oh yeah, happy Easter to everyone. I'm not sure if it's like if anybody got up to much because of the whole quarantine thing. I stayed home for most of it, but family came to visit, which was nice. Had an Easter egg hunt with my niece. And pretty cool. I didn't really eat much chocolate though. You eat much chocolate, Gary?
Someone gave me some chocolate, so...
Someone gave you some chocolate, but you didn't eat the chocolate?
I did.
You
First
did?
time I ate chocolate like that for a while.
Yeah, right.
Kind of felt bad afterwards.
You can't feel bad, man. All right, straddle hip hinges or pike pulses. Keeping our legs straight, folding over at the waist. If you want to use a little weight to help you get down, around about maybe 30 to 40 pulses, exhaling, trying to keep our legs straight. Push the side or the knife edge of your foot into the floor, and big breaths. If you can put your hands on the floor, maybe try and pull yourself a little bit lower, but keep using that dynamic loading where we pull ourselves into that loaded stretch, or we use gravity to get there. Maybe you're up here at the moment. That's okay. That's where you get to. Gary's doing it behind the camera. Yeah, there we go. He knows he needs to be doing it too. Cool, back to that band eyes, wise, tees. If you've understood the concept, please work through these 3 exercises without waiting for me. But if you're still looking for instruction, we're doing the I position 10 times. And then we do circles one way, circles the other. We do Y position, circles one way, circles the other. T position, backwards and forwards, circles one way, circles the other. And then at the bottom, we're doing A. So I, Y, T, A. And work through those. You can be quite quick with these pulses as well. They don't need to be too slow. They can be a very sharp, just as long as you're keeping your arm extended, your shoulder locked. You're not sort of floppy and moving around like this or bending your arm, you know. As long as you're locking out your arm and it's really that shoulder joint that's doing the work, you're focusing it there. 10 one way. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. Go to the opposite arm. I. Y. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. To the side, 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9, 10. Good, and then down for the A position. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. 1, 2, 3. Cool. All right, going to move on to our next group of exercises. So we're going to get our small weight and our band. With the band, I'm going to make a loop down 1/3 of it. So if I break this into 3 lengths, let's say this is about 1/3 down, tie a loop in it, boom. So I have a little bit more down this end. Cool. If you have a booty band, you can use that alternatively instead of this. Okay, so we have one smaller loop, one bigger loop, and we're going to be working with the smaller loop. So we're going to be taking steps. Now, the important part with this is the band sits below your knee. So this is where my knee is here, and I want the band just below it, like this. So I've got that small noose that my legs are in, the big loop at the top, the band is sitting below my legs. Now we're going to do banded walks, so probably about 30 seconds, stepping, other foot catches up. One step forward, other foot catches up. What I want to make sure is that I'm driving my knees out to the side, they're not collapsing. So I'm not taking steps like this, I'm taking steps like this with my knee over the top of my foot at all times. Cool, so you're going to take steps forward. If you find the band keeps sliding up your legs, it's because your knee's collapsing. So you need to take shorter steps, squat a little bit lower, and drive your legs out to the side. Just forward steps for the first round. We're going to do about 20 to 30 steps, driving our legs out to the side, going backwards so that we maximize the space that we have available to us. And you can alternate which foot is leading forward, which foot is leading backwards. And keep thinking about driving those knees out to the side, squatting a little bit lower for our banded walks. And I'm not in a rush either. You know, I want to keep that time under tension. I can start to feel that my legs, all this sort of prolonged work of having to push and maintain a solid frame position, starting to make them tight and work. That's fine. We're going to keep doing this pattern for maybe another 10, 20 steps. Good. Driving our knees out to the side, not letting them collapse. So if it's looking at the front, looks something like this. So I'm constantly pushing my knees out to the side, not being lazy. Cool, walking back. Cool. From going forwards and backwards, now we're going to go sideways. And it's the exact same thing. Trying to get my knee to stay over the top of my leg. And if you're watching from side on, there we go. So a lot of people seem to take very big steps in this, and then their legs cave in. Take small steps. Keep that frame, that box frame, with your knees over the top of your toes, or over the top of your feet, sorry. And keep driving the band out. Back the other way. I'm going to do about 20 to 30 more steps in these positions. You should really be feeling this in your legs. Don't get sloppy, even though it's getting harder. Keep driving your knees out to the side. Take smaller steps if your legs keep caving in. And use the edge of your foot to lead for the lateral or the side walk. Good. All right, stand up. Shake your little band out. Take your legs out. Cool. We're coming back to the banded walk, so just leave your band on the floor. You're going to grab your small weight. This is just a 1 liter water bottle. You can use that. I'm just going to use a 2 kilo weight because that's usually what I use in my own training, but it's quite light. And again, it's about my intention in the shoulder joint remaining quite stable here in this position. We're going to do front raises. So the weight's going to come directly up and in front of me and then go back down. What I'm trying to avoid here is swinging the weight up, lifting my shoulder, twisting away. I'm going to try and keep my body as straight as possible, squeezing this as tight as I can as I do it. And my shoulder joint staying nice and still. 10 times. Squeeze nice and tight with your lightweight, with your water bottle. Feeling it? Good cat. That's what I like to see. Cool. 10 times in this position. If you really want details, see if you can squeeze your tricep in this. All that means is pushing and locking out as we do it. 10 times. Lateral raise here in the front of the shoulder. Nice and slow. We're not trying to swing it up. If the weight you've picked is too heavy, scale it back. Grab a tin of beans or something. Really lightweight. Cool. Finishing our 10th rep out to the front. We're then going to go out to the side directly. So squeezing again, out to the side, back down. So my shoulder doesn't elevate, doesn't protract, doesn't retract, doesn't depress, stays in this neutral point. 10 raises in the lateral position here. If you finish your 10 reps, you can just wait while other people catch up, or while I assume other people are catching up. Cool, so we've gone out to the front, and we've gone out to the side directly. Now we're going to go up to the front, and in this top range, move out to the side. 10 times here. And I'm doing this fairly slowly so that I'm really working on the control. Like I said, it needs to be a light weight. If your shoulder comes down, give it a little wriggle, straight back up, squeezing your arm while you do it and trying to avoid any shoulder positions. Cool, after you've done 10 traverse plane reps, we're going to swap to the other arm. Starting with the other arm. Hello, Jiva. Jiva Munchies. Up to the front. 10 times. Try to relax all the other parts of my body and just focus on this part. So if I'm using a water bottle, same thing. I'm trying to squeeze it. Obviously, it helps if if you've done lots of contraction work with your body, but this is again an opportunity to highlight why it's important when your coaches say, think about trying to squeeze your muscles rather than just remaining in the position. So if we're in a handstand, we're thinking of squeezing our bum, pulling our abs in, pushing overhead. We're not just trying to sit on the muscle bellies while we do it. So 10 out to the front, to the side. Trying to keep my shoulder in that neutral position. 10 reps, up and down. 5, 4. After these reps, we're going to traverse or at the top position, moving from side to front. So like this, and really trying to squeeze our arm. Hi Rebecca, thanks for following. I'm trying to keep this arm nice and relaxed, but this arm I'm trying to squeeze everything. Cool. 10 reps here. 3, 2, 1. Cool. Give your arm down, shake. Cool. Back to your banded walk. So, putting the band just below your knees. Definitely not on your knee joint because we want the muscles surrounding your knee joint to actually work. It's the most vulnerable position, so we want to strengthen our knees. We're going to be taking steps forward and backwards between about 30 to 50 steps or until I change us over. Trying to keep our knee on top of our foot, not being lazy and taking compromised steps like this. Drive your knees out to the side. Bad, good. 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 Anyway. Where's the laugh soundtrack? Come on, Gary. Yeah. If you've ever watched an episode of Friends without the laugh soundtrack, it's
Oh yeah.
It's horrible.
Haven't tried it, no.
Oh, it's so scary because a lot of the jokes and stuff is just like these like sociopathic behavior where they're like, yeah, being really evil to their friends and making poor decisions, but the laugh soundtrack, oh, it's meant to be funny.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's creepy.
That would be creepy. So what, is there episodes out there where they've
It exists on the YouTube, yeah. If you watch, if you look, Friends, no laugh track, or a couple of other, maybe other sitcoms from that era, you know, like Everyone Loves Raymond and things like that. And you realize like how poorly or unfairly some characters were treated and how manipulative other characters were treated.
put that nice comedic laugh behind them.
Yeah, he's like, oh, if it's a laugh track behind it, it must be funny, you know? Same sort of goes for That 70s Show as well.
Yeah.
If you take it away, it's just like, oh, I've had these conversations with my friends. They're not that interesting. Well,
in a similar vein, if you've ever watched music videos.
Okay.
So music videos, but they've actually taken out the music.
Oh yeah. And
they inputted sounds, but it's like them just
singing over the top. Sideways now. Remember, keeping our knees over the top.
Funny.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember watching a Britney Spears music video without the backing track. And so all the physical noises of like her and the dancers and her breathing and her jumping around and I was like, oh my gosh,
yeah.
How is this considered music? Yeah, Mandy, that shoulder, those raises, definitely helped me whenever my shoulders were really sore. I put those in to my own programming a couple times a week. Good. Keep going with your banded walks. Good. Maybe a last 10 seconds. Getting thrown to the sharks here, Matt. Clearly love Britney, hey? Clearly I do. All right, let's take off that booty band. Ooh. Wriggle out of your band. We're going back to our rehab raises. So either arm, I don't mind which. Make sure you're squeezing and locking out your arm. If someone were to push down on you, you're opposing that force. We're going to the front, 10 raises. Nice and controlled, up and down. If 10 reps with the weight that you've managed to obtain or the weight that you have at home is very, very difficult, you can lower the rep range to accommodate how heavy the weight is. For example, this is only 2 kilos for me, but if this was 3 kilos, I wouldn't do 10 reps. I would do maybe 6 to 8. But ideally, we want to be using a very light weight so we can do more volume. The higher end of rehabilitation, or the spectrum of rehabilitation, is higher volume of exercises rather than intensity. Intensity is where we procure strength. Volume is where we rehab the body. So 10 raises out to the front, my shoulders neutral position. Good. Good, out to the side now. Down. Down. And I'm really trying to squeeze my arm. Keep my shoulder neutral. Keep this arm. Try not to hold any tension in the other side of your body. Some people kind of tense up on the opposite side. Keep all the focus just in your shoulder joint. Cool. And then we're going to do 10 at the front here. So it moves across this transverse plane. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woof. All right, opposite side. to the front. So watching my shoulder, it stays in a very neutral position. I'm trying to keep my arm as locked and tight as possible. And I'm not rushing through the reps either, you know, taking it slow, especially when it gets to this top part. And when it goes back down, when I'm releasing the control back down, paying attention to where my shoulder is working. 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going out to the side directly now. G'day, Sean. Probably one of the most consistent people, I think. Sean, keeping it up. I've had a lot of people tell me they've, lost motivation. And the funny thing is about some of these people is that they're actually very accomplished, very strong individuals. But actually, it's just about doing good work. It doesn't have to be intense all the time, but just good amounts of work, valuable work, consistently. If someone said, oh, I'm going to be working with a 2 kilo weight today, you wouldn't sort of say, oh man, I don't have the energy for that. But you just have to be a little bit committed. Cool, we do the traverse across the body plane now. 1, 2. Trying to keep those. Workouts are hard at home. Yeah, straight up. That's something that I definitely have dealt with. So even studying for me was like, oh cool, if I go to the library, I'm going to get more done than being at home because I'll make myself a coffee, I'll do all those little things that fidget. Same thing with working out. My phone's there, the internet's there. So this time in quarantine has been actually like a little bit more disciplined because, we have to be on top of ourselves to be, yeah, man, it's very easy just to sit down on the couch and, feel like we're a little bit hopeless and stuff. So hopefully that's where the stream and the Patreon comes in that you can help guys. All right, cool. So we're going to leave that one there. We're going to go to our anchor point with the band. So take our band, pop it around the anchor point. Cool. If you've got the little loop in your band, you can leave it on it. So just loop it through. Doesn't matter, but if you want to unloop it as well, that's fine. Yeah, nowhere to hide. Exactly. Cool. So now that I've got my nice anchor point, here I'm going to put the band, same position where it was on the booty band or the sort of the banded walks. It's below my knee joint. The band is pulling my leg in, so I'm going to push my leg out to the side, and then I'm going to carefully go down and do kind of like a hip hinge or a single leg good morning, and then come back up. So there's lots of work going on this single leg to try and maintain balance. The part that leads the movement is my chest. So I don't want to lead with my head, okay? Don't want to lead with my shoulders, lead with my chest. Back leg goes up, and it's going to look like this position here. So my heel and my head stay in the same position. Kind of like a strict deadlift or a good morning, but using the band. So the band is pulling in on our leg. We're going to do 10 each side. So this one. So hopefully you're knocking out your reps. That lead leg is doing lots of work. Very healthy for the knees. 10 reps, nice and controlled. Controlling your breathing while we do this. If your range doesn't have to go as low, so you can just go a short range here, hold for a moment, and then control back up. And that's just as valuable as going further because you're working within the range that you have and controlling it. The most important part is controlling it, because if you're just falling in and out of it, it's not that valuable. Swapping over to the other leg, 10 reps, opposite side now, so you'll probably see the view from the back now. I try to keep my heel and my head in line as I tilt down, gripping my feet into the floor, driving my leg out, being patient through my reps, so not just trying to be one of those drinking water birds that just bob up and down, going a little bit slower, a bit of intention, especially when we get to that horizontal part where our knee wants to go in. So we're really trying to fight, drive our knee out and maintain that stable position. $10 each side for this one. If you can hold on the last rep of each round, that's great. Lots of value from there. Cool. Letting the band fall to the side. Now we just need to do find the wall. We're going to do our QDR presses. It's where our elbow touches into our body, ideally where our hip crease is. We lean, our hand is facing backwards like this, not up, not down. Lean into the wall on the side of my foot, press in, full extension out from the shoulder. Lean in, press out. These QDR presses, we're going to do 10 times each side. So it's sort of like a one arm vertical push-up or side push-up. 10 reps each side. Locking out. Getting that loading in the wrist, that position there. And I drive and press out nice and straight into my body, press and drive out. After you finish the 10 reps of the QDRs, back to the band. Drive and press out. And it may be uncomfortable for your wrists. That's where we need to be looking after our wrists with all the work that we do, but also increasing the mobility, dexterity and durability of our wrists. Cool. Belinda. Hello, Belinda. Cool. Back to our band work. So I'll go back to my original leg. 10 reps either side. If you want, got my light weight. Same arm, same leg. Most important thing. If you have it opposing, makes it too easy. Don't want it easy. So if you've got your light weight, either the water bottle, trying to control it. I'm not going to open up like this to drop to the floor to get it. Defeats the purpose. Keep your shoulder in a neutral position. Your heel and your head should rise and fall at the same time. Trying to make it look aesthetically pretty, because that's where we're working harder. So where we're working harder. Good. So I'm not dropping my shoulder down, keeping it neutral. My heel, my head, tilt at the same time. $10 reps of this, and if you can, on the last rep, maybe hold for a few seconds, using those toe muscles and foot muscles really to work. Good, swapping over to the other side. Making the band tight so it's pulling our leg in, so there's a little bit of resistance there to make it a bit trickier. My head and my heel tilt and alternate at the same time, and I come back up nice and controlled. Actually, you'll find that the longer that you work with this exercise, the more you'll be able to understand how to move through it slowly and patiently. So I expect for everyone attempting this at home, it was very wobbly, lots of falling over, totally understandable. If you did it with this control and good form, well done. It's a very tricky move, especially to do it slowly and have these opposing forces like the band working against you. 10 reps here, and maybe go for a hold on the last rep. Come back out. Back over to the wall, QDR presses. My hand is sideways. I try to get as much surface contact over my hand, so driving with all of the knuckles, all of the fingertips, your thumb, your palm, pressing into the wall. 10 each side. Press, press, press. Press. 10 reps, either side. Swapping to the other side if you've done your 10. If you've done 10 and 10, move back to the band. You might be able to keep working, get an extra round in if you're moving through this quite quickly. If you're not, doesn't matter. As long as you're enjoying yourself, you know, we're doing that good, valuable work that I spoke of. Cool. All right, we're coming up to the end towards the end of the class. We've got 2 more exercises. All right. If you want to put a little towel on the floor and a mat on the floor, that's good. G'day, Adrian. And I'm going to demonstrate the exercise first. Oh, I might move it back a little bit so you guys can see. There we go. And we're going to do this, let's say, 2 minutes, 1 minute in each direction. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to lay on our back. So while Gary sets up a timer, what we're going to be doing is swinging our knees around in circles like this, keeping my shoulders off the ground. So similar to the hollow body or the dead bug position, our shoulders are off the ground, but now we're adding a dynamic element into it where we're doing circles with our feet. I call these wax on, wax off. So we're going to do 1 minute wax on with our legs, and then I'm going to call change. We're going to rotate the opposite way. It's very important that you keep the shape of your circles nice and beautiful. I don't want to see these, I don't want these little jaggy things like that. Nice big circles. Rotate your hips while you do this. Okay? So we're going to do 1 minute this way. I'm going to have the timer on the screen, and then we're going to change 1 minute this way. And like I said, my shoulders aren't on the ground. They're up a little bit so that my core is engaged and working. Okay, Gary, will you be able to pop the timer up? Yep. Cool, here we go. 1 minute. Wax on, Daniel-san. Cool, big circles. What I find is with my left knee, I had a bit of an injury there, so the circles are a little bit less fluid. So I definitely have to, put my intention into making sure that my circles are very beautiful on that side. Good, keep going. It's 20 seconds. Moving your hips while we do this. If you have to stop, stop, and then keep going. All right, we're going to reverse it. Opposite way, opposite direction for your circles, whichever way you're doing it. In another minute. There we go, timer's on. If you need to stop, take a few breaths, and then get straight back into it. Straight back on the bike. Shoulders off the ground. Big, deep breathing. Nice big circles. Almost there, 20 seconds. Keep those circles pretty. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, awesome. Cool, guys. For the last bit of the exercise, while I'm talking, you can revisit any of the exercises, but if you're going to be finishing now, just do some shoulder dislocates to finish off. Okay, you can rewatch the live stream. For any of the groups of exercises, between 3 to 5 rounds are pretty good. And so yeah, go back onto it if you'd like to see it again. I need to promote our Patreon and shout out, thanks Matt, all the good work that he's doing. If you're enjoying our free streams, we also have a Patreon account where you can get perks and extra things as well. This is like information from the coaches, one-on-one coaching, information about how to be creative in the home, be disciplined. You know, if you just need that voice of feedback, it helps Matt and helps the community stay afloat in a time where we don't know if we're really going to be able to continue. So as much support as we can. We appreciate you guys, 1, coming onto the stream, 2, sharing it. The exposure is just as valuable for us as well, with family and friends, just getting our name out there. This is where a time where, you know, word of mouth is actually going to be really, really powerful. Yeah. Do you have anything to say? No.
No, I think you actually covered it very, very well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Have a great day. Stay safe. Stay quarantined. Don't eat too much chocolate. All right. Thanks, guys.
Or if you do, at least make sure you go through many of these exercises. Just look back through.
Well, that's always my thing. Is if I eat enough, then I get to train as much as I want. But if I train as much as I want, I get to eat as much as I want.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Cool.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Catch you next time.
See you, Gary. Bye.